and understanding of the person and accepting their flaws.
What's the worst thing a man can do during sex?
The worst?
I don't know. I've never had sex.
Either have I.
You guys aren't virgins.
Yeah, we are.
Ain't no way.
Yeah.
Why haven't you done it yet?
We're very religious.
We're saving ourselves.
For marriage?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Now be honest with me. When you come out to the clubs in Miami especially, and you dress how you dress, do you think...
Dress how I dress?
Yes.
What does that mean?
I'm saying exactly how you are right now.
Which means implying what?
Well, let me finish the question, okay?
I would just like you to express details on what you said.
What details are you interested in?
You said dress how you dress.
Yeah.
Please.
When you have your belly out, you're wearing tight clothing, and you're showing cleavage. Yeah.
With cleavage, okay.
Do you not have your cleavage out?
These are attached to my body, so.
Of course.
That she has.
That I have. Exactly.
Of course, but you can help what you wear, though.
Exactly. So finish your question.
So my question is, do you think that when a man looks at you, he's thinking, this is somebody who I want to make my wife one day? Or is this just a girl who I could probably have fun with?
I never put on an outfit and think about what men
I
think.
have never gone to the club to meet a man. I go to dance with my friends. I don't want to find my husband at the club, just as much as a man doesn't want to find his wife at the club.
So it's not to seek validation at all from a man?
When I get dressed, I never think about what a man wants. I think about how I feel. The man's opinion is never something.
We have to go
It's never something that's validating, ever.
What's your age?
Pause it. Okay, so the first thing there's two different things there. So to start, both those girls claimed that they were virgins, which I think is perhaps dubious based on how they were dressed. The girl on the right was not blasted in tattoos, but had quite a few tattoos, which I suppose it's possible you can be a virgin club goer who's fairly tatted up, but it kind of raises an eyebrow. So the first question is, do you think that girl who was tatted up out clubbing in Miami, she wasn't dressed super revealing, but a little revealing. Do you think she's a virgin, or do you think she's lying? Starting with you, and we'll go around the table.
I think she's a virgin. I feel like, you should be able to just freely live your life. It doesn't matter whether you have sex or not.
And the chat's welcome to weigh in on this too.
I mean, obviously she could be, but considering she claimed she was extremely religious, but still did the activities that she was doing, you could tell that was kind of a lie already. So.
Well, the religious claim could have been dubious also.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, since there was a lie, like a possible lie already there, what else could she be lying about? It also took her a while to answer that she was virgin.
Me, I believe them, because why would they lie?
Why would someone lie?
Yeah. No, why would they lie to him about, the question? Why would they lie? What was the point in lying to him?
I could think of a bunch of reasons someone might lie.
I mean, if they saying they don't care what men think or how they think about them, like, why lie to a man about if you having sex or not? If that is your point.
I'm not sure what the reasons might be for why they would lie, but
that's
I'm
just
detecting a lie. I detect a lie.
I mean, you detect a lie because of how they dress, but
And the tattoos.
And the tattoos. Virgins can't have tats. God forbid.
I mean, okay, she's out clubbing, so I don't know what the scene is like in Miami. She's over 21. It just doesn't really clubber, tattooed. Look, you could be a virgin, but dress like a duck, act like a duck, quack like a duck, you're probably a duck.
I mean, but they're proving y'all point. I mean, proving their point as in they don't care what you guys think about them. At the point.
Well, it's not about what they care or don't care about. It's whether she's lying or not about it.
Oh, I mean.
Okay, fair.
Well, I think it's more satire than anything else. Because it's a dickhead question to ask someone, isn't it? If you walk up to somebody, are you a virgin? Of course I'm going to be
Well, he didn't ask if they were a
he
virgin.
didn't ask
asked, like,
that.
what's the worst thing a man could do in bed? And they were like,
they offered
oh,
up.
we're virgins.
They offered up that they were virgins.
Oh shit, I wasn't paying attention.
Clearly.
Sorry. No, I was, but like in the sense of like you walk up to a guy, you ask her a question like that, she isn't more than entitled to turn around to you in satire and be like, I'm a virgin, and there should be no questions asked about that. Are we not allowed to make jokes, or do we have to sit
Yeah,
there?
but I mean,
and
they should be funny.
I thought it was.
Well, it was, but not for the reasons you're saying it was.
But well, we obviously find entertainment different.
I like things that are funny.
I like things that are also funny.
Well, what made that
and
funny?
a woman taking control of the situation was funny, and him being a bit like
She wasn't taking
was
control.
funny for me.
She didn't take control of the situation.
Well, she got what she wanted.
She got mad, right? Ow, how dare you? I can't believe that you would ever assume that me, dressed like I'm dressed, would ever think for a minute that I might, kind of be a little on the promiscuous side.
But that's the joke.
What's the joke?
That, like, the coming for a woman to be like,
Grid One Motorsports donated $200. What a panel of win we have here. Double Bubble is more of a virgin than the girls in the video.
Huh?
Just the way they hesitated and changed their posture when they looked at each other and decided to lie.
Yeah, come on, those chicks were full of shit.
I'm not saying they weren't full of shit.
Like
When did I say that?
I think I know what you're saying. So I actually kind of agree with your assessment in that they kind of were joking. They were. Now I agree with Andrew. It's not a funny joke. But I think they were. I think they were lying, and they were kind of like turning it
on him. But yeah, then they got a bit
like
mad.
it was a bit of a dismissive answer to his question because they didn't really want to engage. So they're just like, oh, I'm
just out here because I'm super religious. It's like, what? Come on.
What do you think?
So when I saw...
Yo, Miss Nims, thank you for the gifted 20 memberships. Appreciate it. Go ahead.
So when I saw the video, it looked like as soon as he asked that question, they got really aggressive and they lied about it. In my opinion, they lied about it. Now, I'm religious. Okay. I'm Christian. Am I a virgin? Absolutely not. But I don't go to clubs much either, but based on how they're dressed, based on their posture when they were asked that question, I really think they were lying. Okay. Could it have been satire?
Body language.
Absolutely.
Plus, the other one came in as like a support mechanism. The first one's like, we're virgins. The other one's like, oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, we're virgins.
What about you?
I don't, and I never have understood why men care so much. If you're intending to be in a relationship with this woman, to date them, be their girlfriend, wife, whatever, I can understand wanting to know that or be concerned about that. But I don't know why so many random men care so much about women's body count and whether or not they're a virgin or not. Could those two women have been virgins? Absolutely. Could they have been sluts? Absolutely. I don't think there's any way of telling. Only they know the answer to that, and I don't know why random men care.
Well, let me ask you something. Let's assume for a second that you were rolling the dice and it was your life on the line. And if you got the wrong answer, that's it, it's lights out. First answer, they're virgins. The second answer, they're not. What's your answer, Malik?
Yeah, based on how they were dressed, the tattoos, the cleavage, the stomach showing, I would assume that they weren't.
And Malik, I think you're going to survive.
My life was on the line, but normally I wouldn't assume. I don't care about other women's body count.
Can I say something quick? Could they not have just been virgins because they were over the age of 22? Like, why do we have to keep going because of what they were wearing, because of the tattoos?
Right.
I don't think age matters.
Well, no, it's all of that, right?
When you can legally lose your virginity, I don't know what the age it is here, but in England you can lose your virginity at 16. So most people are going to assume people over 16, 18, you're going to not be a virgin. So why does it matter that they had pretty? I thought their clothes were pretty. I would wear that.
They weren't that provocative, in my opinion. They could have been way more.
Yeah, it wasn't extreme. Well, one was just a bit more revealing than the other, but the one on the left was not that.
It made it sound like hookers or something like.
Right.
I can see her coochie.
Continue. Go ahead.
Again, I don't understand why it matters, and I do agree with what you were saying before about. They got defensive and kind of respond with satire like, oh, I'm a virgin. I don't want to talk about my sexual experiences in bed. But at the end of the day, like, because I deal with that a lot of times men will come up to me and assume my body count is high. Like I said, I've only been in one relationship. I've only slept with one person in my life. And people just assume if I dress a certain way or I'm attractive, and I dress pretty conservatively usually. I don't know why random men care about.
Because we're pattern recognition machines. And so what happens is that if we see a pattern all the time of certain behaviors, then what ends up happening is we make these assumptions. Now, you're right. They're not always right. They're not always right. Okay? But you can understand why people do it. You do it yourself.
Yes,
right?
I understand that. But if you make this assumption, then why don't you just rule that person out in your dating field?
Yeah, but, well, you might. But the point of this was he was on the street conducting interviews. So, and part of his show is obviously to try to understand the engagement between men and women. So I completely understand why it was that he was asking that question. They have a right to do whatever they want, but I mean, it's reasonable to think, you know, based on the patterns, based on what we see, right, we can kind of make these assumptions. And yes, we're going to be wrong sometimes, but we're mostly not going to be, right?
I'd agree with that to a certain degree, but again, I don't see the point.
The point of what?
The point of men caring what a woman who has nothing to do with their life's body count is.
I don't think most men do care, but we do care about the women who we might be pursuing romantically.
That's what I said. If you're pursuing a woman romantically, it's perfectly fine to ask about their body count, and maybe if they dress promiscuously, to question, hey, are you sure you're a virgin, or are you sure your body count's what you say it is? That's completely understandable if you're pursuing that person. But if it's just a random woman, she tells you she's a virgin, why are you going to have a back and forth about it?
Well, because he didn't want to suspend his disbelief.
Initially, he also didn't ask what their body count was.
They brought it up
themselves.
It's like if you're walking down the street and there's an alarm going off and a guy has a ski mask on and an AR and a bag of money and you're like, hey, that bank's alarm's going off, and you're making assumptions, right? Well, it's true, you are, but you know.
And like I said, if someone, it was life or death, you had to assume were they virgins or not. I would have assumed no, just based on their appearance. But I think I don't know why men get offended at.
I don't think men
was offended.
We got
Grid One Motorsports donated $200. Yes, men must assume that if you dress like, hang out with, and go places that 304s go, then you are probably not a virgin. And we have to care. No man worth having wants today to see men receptacle.
By the way, I love that guy.
agree with that.
That's
all right.
Like the best super chatter is Grid One.
And also,
What's a seam?
Oh my God! Yeah.
Oh
okay.
yeah. Sorry.
Yep. Cool.
Sorry.
Yep.
Sorry.
So, also he was asking a question. They responded by saying that they were virgins. So he probed based off of their questions, and he perhaps even detected on his own, just based off of our own observations that we made, based on how they're dressed, based on their tattoos, but also perhaps based on the way they answered, which we kind of brought up. He was probing, like, are you guys serious? Like, da-da-da. So, your thoughts on this? Also, could you scoot that way just a little bit? Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think that they were joking, but I think that they were lying. And I also think that, these videos, Shane. They get sectioned out so that people can just react to this. But I work with PragerU. We do man on the street videos all the time. You walk up to people and you either get a written permission that you can put them on camera and ask them questions, or somewhere in the can they have a audio visual with them saying, yes, I don't mind answering these questions. So it's always funny to me when people get on camera and then they have these like very evasive or aggressive responses. And so when I watch this, and whether they're joking or not, whether they're lying or not, I think this is a meritocracy. They're lying. Let's judge them on that. I think that this aggressive response, I always think it's funny when people react that way, given they consented to be on camera.
Okay. Andrew, your thoughts on the... Are they virgin? Well, I think you maybe already went into it.
Okay, well, let me make it abundantly clear. They're fucking lying.
Okay, there you go. And then what was the other thing I was going to ask? The video, okay. Wait, what was the other thing I was going to ask?
You didn't mention it. You just asked the first question.
How am I blanking on I feel like I need to rewatch the video again. Wait, how they were dressed? It was something. Oh my god!
It was like, wasn't it judging by what they're wearing?
Yeah. Oh, I guess yeah. Do you think that he was off base for, aside from whether they were lying or not about the virgin thing? What do you think about his comments about how they were dressed? Was that even my fucking question? God damn. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Was that even your point? I honestly feel like it's just every man does it. You know what I'm saying? They just judge you off of looks instead of, getting to know you first. Like, that's everybody's first thing to do is just judge you off of your appearance. Mm-hmm. And I think it's BS because you could dress like what I'm wearing today. You could be the most innocent person in the world. You don't know.
But don't you judge off appearance too?
Fat bastard donated $200.
Oh my God.
Get in my belly. I want my baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back. Ribs, I want my baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back. Ribs, chully-is baby back ribs.
Okay, thank you for the third time. Thank you, Fat Bastard. Appreciate it. Thank you.
It's still funny though.
It's still always funny. Thank you, man. Appreciate your patronage. Did you have more on that?
He had a question.
Yeah, I was just saying. I mean, you do that too, though, right?
I mean, yeah, but it's not all about appearance.
No, I'm not saying it's all about.
Of course, you glance at somebody and say, okay, yeah, they're dressed nice or they're dressed, decent, but it's not just for me to assume. But if
a guy is way shorter than you, right? Wouldn't that be a thing that you would go?
I mean, but that's because that's not my preference. I don't like short men. But
so
that's
you're judging off appearance,
right? That's
right?
not for me. No, I didn't judge him because I didn't say, oh, well, he has less money or he doesn't have a good career. Or
no, but I mean, you judged him against your preference.
Well, yeah, but that's not the same thing.
It's the same thing.
No, it's not.
How could it not be?
Because you're judging someone
based on your preference, right?
No, it's not preference. You're judging them just because you think, okay, she dressed provocatively, she does, hoe shit.
Yeah, and I have a preference against that, right?
But some people don't.
I know some people don't, but you, the individual with the preference, would be like,
we can agree to this.
That's a society thing, provocative. What she's wearing, that's society's view. That's not our personal view. When you people put into boxes like she's dressed like a slut, she's dressed like a this, that's a society standard that has been placed upon someone. Sorry, it's happened.
And what's society made up of?
People, but it's a group opinion.
And group opinions are made up of individual opinions that the most amount of those individuals have, right?
You can have a different opinion to a society opinion.
You can, but I'm just saying, if you're looking at averages, you're saying, look.
Yeah, but you can't make everything an average.
Yes, but if most people hold the opinion, that's why stereotypes exist.
Yes, but that's not what you were asking her. She said
we're having a different conversation.
No, because you said she doesn't like short people.
Yeah.
Right.
She has because it's against her preference.
Yeah, but
you asked me.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. But you asked me if I see a short man, would I judge him? And I said, no, I'm not judging him. I'm just not going to look his way because that's not my preference.
Then that's a judgment.
It's not a judgment.
How could it be anything other than a judgment?
Not to entertain him in a certain type of way.
Let me see if I can demonstrate it to you. Let's say that you're on a blind date.
Okay.
Room's totally dark. You can't see him. Mm-hmm. Would you judge him on your height if you couldn't see it?
If I reach out to touch
him. No, you can't see it.
You stand that man up.
You can't do any of that. You don't have that requisite information. Okay. Would you judge him on his height?
I can't. If I can't see him.
The second you see it, though, you make that judgment.
It's not, but I don't feel like it's a judgment thing.
Can you scoot your mic this way?
Yeah. Perfect. Well, to kind of be as charitable as I can be to this, I think I understand. You can correct me if I'm wrong. You're saying when you're talking about judgment.
Yeah.
When you think of judgment, you think of something negative.
Yeah.
Yeah. But let's take that view away for a second.
Okay.
So we're not talking about negativity, but just general judgments. Like if you're gonna go across the street, you don't want to go where the traffic's busy, right?
Right.
Good judgment, right?
Right. Okay. Now I understand.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
I can agree with
Let me read this